Today for Senate Education Committee meeting. So we've had meetings earlier in the week and last week where we were having hearings on bills. But today we have a special meeting planned for us because we have some kids here, some students that are here from the Kansas School for the Blind. And we also have JAG-K students that are here. And so for all the students that are in the room, let me assure you, we love hearing from students. Most of our hearings is from adults, but we love to hear what the students have to say. But we're going to start off with the Kansas School for the Blind because you guys have to get back on the road. Is that right? So I'm going to call on Anna. Is it Sear? Anna Sear, who is the Field Services Specialist for Southwest Kansas. Thank you for being here today.
Invitation. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invitation for us to speak to you. As she said, I'm Anna Sear. I live in Buhler, Kansas, which is near Hutchinson. And this year, as a field services specialist, I'm serving South Central and Southwest Kansas. So I provide technical assistance, professional development, as well as this year some direct instruction to students in Southwest Kansas for a special ed cooperative that did not have a teacher when the school year started. So today I brought with me 14 students and 16 teachers, paraprofessionals, and parents. And this is a part of our expanded Core on the Road program, which is a program where we take our specially designed instruction across the state to give students the opportunity to learn along with their peers of similar age and ability. Several of our students sometimes will be the only student with a visual impairment in their school or in their school district, so we like to give them the opportunity to be together with other peers like them. So several of you got to meet with some of our students today and receive a small gift, so thank you for taking time for that. If your schedule didn't allow for that, you will find a small gift in your office when you return. Our goal today is threefold, is to provide positive interaction with other students with visual impairments, just as I mentioned, also to be a positive presence here in the Capitol to speak about access for persons with visual impairment, and then as well to learn about the Capitol building itself and the state government process. And I think a couple of our ladies who are here today enjoyed going to the top of the dome earlier, so they might mention that. So at this time, I'm going to invite the students to speak because I know that's who you really want to hear from. And so we're going to start first with Sarah.
Hello, I am Sarah Brichter, and I go to the Kansas School of Blind, and I'm from Lawrence, and I go to Project Search at ks.gov, and I work for the north side of Kansas, and I work for the YMCA, and I've been going to in the YMCA, I've been going to was the garden, the green garden, and I've been going to was the kids zone and was the food pantry. And once I'm done with it, I will go back to my hometown, Lawrence, Kansas project, and I will get to do is some grocerying.
So before you leave the microphone, tell us what you liked most about your visit today.
I really like everything what happened.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here.
Hello, my name is Sloan Anderson. I go to Oregon Trail Middle School and I'm in 7th grade. And something that I really like about KSSB is they make sports easier for kids who are blind or visually impaired. Because I like to do sports at my school, and I do cheer for my school and basketball and volleyball. And in volleyball, it's hard to see the ball most of the time because it's white. But so this year they changed it to striped, to black and white for everybody, and it made it a lot easier. And I like how KSSB just makes that easier for everybody with that kind of stuff. And my favorite part about today was going up in the dome. I thought it was really cool.
Okay, and I do have one more question for you. Are you at Oregon Trail Middle School in Olathe?
Yes.
Well, that's the middle school where my mother was a teacher way back when, so.
Right now, or?
No, she won't like this, but she just had a birthday. She's 96 years old, so it was a brand new school.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, it was a brand new school when she taught there, but I'm glad that you're there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Milo Scotton. I am from Lawrence, Kansas. I go to Liberty Memorial Central Middle School. And one of my favorite things at KSSB that we do is the makerspace. It's basically a spot where you can just make whatever you want. They have a ton of cool like machines there, and one of my favorite memories at KSSB is meeting one of my best friends while we went on a field trip to the park. And then some things that I like to do is that I like to do art. I love video games, and I value education a lot. So, yeah. And I guess one of my favorite things about the Capitol is just being able to, like, see it. There's so much cool history here that I feel like doesn't really get seen too much. So, yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Milo. And I want you to tell all your other friends that haven't been here to come here because it is beautiful. The Capitol in Kansas is beautiful. Thank you.
I would love to, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, I am Nolan Shannon, and I am in 5th grade at Manchester Park Elementary. And I have a rare gene disorder called congenital stationary night blindness. Basically, my retinas don't talk to my brain. I moved here from Mississippi 16 months ago, and my old school gave me some in my old school only gave me some enlarged print on tests. Now that I live here in Kansas, I am learning how to use equipment like the Jupiter to help me in the classroom. I have access to large font books on Bookshare and have gotten to go on field trips with other visually impaired kids like me. I even got to visit KSSB. So far, my favorite thing is learning how to use my cane in the dark. Leah from KSSB comes to my house at night and teaches me how to use cane skills in my neighborhood. My mom even let me walk home from a friend's house by myself with my cane. I am very grateful for the independence that I am getting here in Kansas.
So Nolan, what did you like about the Capitol during your visit here today?
I really liked visiting the governor's office. That was really fun, and we got to see a gift that KSSB gave to the Capitol I don't know how long ago, but I know it was in the past.
Well, Nolan, we are so glad that you're here in Kansas, and we're glad that you're enjoying learning here in Kansas. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, unless you have other questions for us, we do need to get everybody loaded back up. But
If you could just quickly share with us what team came with you?
sure, absolutely. So we have Leah Enright, who's one of our certified orientation mobility specialists, works for KSSB. Shalane Thompson, also that long term, we shortened to COMS. She lives near Topeka. What part of the state are you serving, Shalane? I don't even know.
I serve mid-central,
East Central Kansas. Yeah, there we go. We all spend a lot of time driving around the state. And then we have Melissa Schaefer and Robin Berry, who are teachers of students with vision impairment. And Robin is also an orientation mobility specialist. They work for the Olathe School District and brought their students to join us today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. And to the teachers that are here, thank you for your service for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think there's a Dairy Queen on the way home. Just suggesting.
that was my plan back to Olathe.
So we are going to now pivot, and we have a presentation on JAG-K. So first up, we have Chuck Knapp, who is President and CEO for the Jobs for America's Graduates here in Kansas. Welcome again to our committee, Chuck.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Chuck Knapp. I'm President and CEO of JAG-K. I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you again. I know you're very familiar with our program, so I thought maybe we would just look at your JAG-K at a glance and get you up to speed on what we've been doing this year with our students. We currently have 106 traditional programs. Those are JAG-accredited programs. We have a national organization. We're one of 39 state affiliates of that organization. So they have standards, and we've met those standards and exceeded them for the last 10 years, including graduation rates, and you can see the stats down below. I think one of the great things about the evidence-based model that has been in this country for more than 43 years is the consistency. If you look at our outcomes, you'll notice that since we've been in Kansas, the 2013-14 school year, we have a 95% graduation rate over that period of time. And I would say the graduation rate is certainly important, but the next outcome may even be more important, and that is 85% of JAG-K students are in post-secondary education, military service, or in the workforce full-time 12 months after they graduate. And we're following them for that 12-month period and supporting them in whatever career path it is they have selected. So you're very familiar with what we have been doing. I wanted to update you also on our transitions services program, and that's our program that is not a JAG model program. That is our effort to serve students in foster care, and we've recently expanded that to students who are also in the juvenile correctional system. Last year, we had a program at the KJCC here in Topeka, and we've expanded that program this year to try to serve more students. We know that about 30% of those students go back to Wichita, the Wichita area. So we're trying to expand our traditional programming in the Wichita area because we believe while it's important to serve those students while they're at KJCC, it would be a whole lot better if they didn't go to KJCC in the first place. And so we address many of the risk factors for entry into the correction system, poverty and unplanned pregnancy. We hope that in the next 2 years, we can expand opportunities to not only serve system-involved youth, but to have more JAG-K opportunities across the state to hopefully prevent students from entering the juvenile justice system. And so we don't have an ask of you this year, but we would like to add 53 programs by fiscal year 27, and we believe that would cost an additional, we consider it an investment, but $3 million additional dollars. I won't go into the budget unless you want me to later, Madam Chair, but I just wanted to let you know that this is not about growing JAG-K. This is about expanding opportunities for students to have the outcomes that our students over the past 10 years have been able to realize. And so I know you're here to listen to our current students. We have elected Career Association officers. We have our 4 state Career Association officers, and we have a few additional regional Career Association officers. And so with your permission, Madam Chair, I would introduce the first of those students, unless you have questions for me at this time.
Now let's meet the students.
Excellent. Our first student is our State Career Association president. She is a senior at Southeast High School in Wichita, and her name is Chari Moore.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. I'm Chari Moore, as he said. I'm the state president of this lovely program. I am from Wichita, and being involved in JAG has helped me a lot. It's helped me evolve. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. It's helped me evolve as the person who I am today. When I first joined JAG, I was very nervous, shy. I used to sit in the back of the classroom, but my very first semester in JAG, I chose to take a big leap and I ran for regionals and then I ran for state. So I have, it's amazing to see my growth. And right now, Jack has also made me focus on local problems, and especially with me being from Wichita, right now my passion is focusing on gun violence that's going on in Wichita, Kansas right now, because these past 2 weeks, 5 teenagers have passed away due to gun violence, and which is very sad, but last year it was 6 teenagers around this time. And I do want to focus on gun violence and getting more teens involved into this program and changing lives and making sure there's support for other teenagers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is James Kingsbury. I am the State Career Association Vice President. I am from Larned High School. JAG has always been really special to me. When I was 12, I lost my father due to a battle with obesity. During this time, I was already in a pretty solemn mind state. And then a year later, I lost my grandmother and godmother, both to complications, just dealing with different illnesses. And then right after that, I got hit with the COVID pandemic. So I was stuck with my grief, basically at my house. Couldn't really do anything, to take my mind off of it. And then my freshman year, JAG became a part of my school. I didn't take it my freshman year because I didn't really know what the program was. I took it my sophomore year, and even just in that small amount of time through sophomore, junior year, it changed my life. I went from an area where I didn't think I had any sort of future. I didn't really see a reason of looking at a future after I lost all those people, because I felt like they were going to be a part of my future. And once JAG got involved, they showed me that even though they're gone, they can still be a part of my future. They can be my driving motivation. Due to that, I carry them with me everywhere I go. I mean, all the scholarships I apply for, all of that, I have to thank for them and to thank for JAG, because without JAG, I wouldn't have a future. That's all I have, so.
So, yeah. You have shared with us some of your losses better than most adults share with us, and that is really amazing. But could you add what it is that so you're applying for scholarships. What are you wanting to do next?
Right now, I'm going to Barton for 2 years. I have the Barton Bound Scholarship, so I get free tuition and books. I only have to pay for housing, and then I'm applying for more scholarships, so I don't even have to pay for that. But I'm looking in athletic training, or if I don't enjoy athletic training, because Barton has an ability where I can, those 2 years, be like actually doing the training with the different college sports. If I don't do that, I've also looked into potentially coming back to be a career specialist for JAG. I mean, it's changed my life. It's given me a future. So if I can give like kids who have gone through similar things or even worse things than me a chance, I mean, everyone has some sort of value, so.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Xavier Kino. I'm from Kansas City, and I go to Shawnee Mission North High School. I've been in JAG for 6 years now. And Shawnee Mission, you start middle school in 7th grade, and that's when I joined. When I first joined, Miss Keffel now, who was then Miss Fisher, I think I always had leadership potential, but it was very rough. I would consider it, which I know the difference now between managing and leading. I think it was more managing, and just over time, that's helped me grow so much. And even within the first 2 years of being in middle school, when I first competed in 8th grade, I was the only kid to bring back a medal from state. And to now we're in a program now my senior year where we sent 2 kids to nationals last year, I believe. We sent so many kids to state. And to be in a program that's grown so much where it was looked at a class that was just for bad kids, a class where counselors didn't want to deal with them, so they sent them to this class. To see a program that has grown so much, where now more than ever we've seen kids wanting to succeed. We've seen kids do great things. And to see the transformation of kids who, we didn't think were necessarily going to graduate even to go to state. Kids that are doing amazing, kids that are in school. It's kind of a way JAG has helped me. JAG has a lot of accountability. At one point in my time, about a year and a half ago, both of my parents were incarcerated at the same time. And JAG gave me accountability. It gave me a reason to come to school every day, a reason to be a leader, a reason to show up, and a reason to keep succeeding, not only for myself, but for those around me. Without JAG, I wouldn't have been a role model in my school. I wouldn't have a great team of leaders with me that would hold me accountable. And just to look, just kind of back to, someone who never even thought about college to go into college now on scholarship. I mean, it's made a huge transformation in my life, and it's made a huge transformation in those around me. And I know it's made a transformation in those and others in the state. And to think to be a part of a team, with, all of our officers and Chuck and Bev and people who genuinely care about us, who care about our future, who care about our next step, that follow up with us a year later. I mean, it's truly incredible. And I think JAG K has just been the best thing in my life. And I know it's been the best thing for many others as well.
So tell us what your plans are next.
Yep. So my plans are next. So I'm going to UMKC to study marketing, and I want to do a minor in leadership. At some point, I believe this summer, when I was in Washington, D.C., I was talking to Representative Sharice Davids about a possible internship, and something I'm very passionate about is education. I became more passionate about that in the last 2 years, and the more I've learned about it, the more I've learned about how funding works and all these other things. I think education, if we want to change the world one day, we want to change the culture that people are coming up in now, I think education is where we start with that. And so maybe one day I want to go in. It don't matter if it's school board, if it's coming here to be some kind of politician. I'm not too sure yet, but I know one day I want to help others. I want to help students under 12th grade.
Well, I wish you well as a kangaroo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Layla Horton. I'm from Junction City, and I'm the state parliamentarian for JAG. And I want to first start off by saying JAG has made me feel like I belong somewhere. So I was born into a military family and always moving. I've never truly fit in with anybody, and the one constant thing in my life was sports. I'm a volleyball player, and that was the one thing I loved, and anywhere I moved, that was the one constant thing I had in my life. Till last year when I tore my ACL. And my doctor told me it was a possibility I could never play again. And I lost all my motivation, and my grades started dropping. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my future because volleyball seemed like my only way out to go play in college and really try to find a way through volleyball. And it wasn't until I met my JAG teacher, Miss Martine, and her being one of the only black female teachers within our school, it also gave me another place to belong within a majority white school. Me being a black female myself also didn't feel like I fit in. And it wasn't until I met her and she made me find my spark again. And she gave me this position and gave me the motivation I wanted to run for it and have a family with me. And I would say I'm truly, truly appreciative of JAG K being able to let me stand out as being one of these officers and being able to commit to a school and now play volleyball again, thank goodness, while also trying to major in forensic science and minor in social studies. Thank you.
Wow. And have you decided where you're going to go to school?
Washburn for my first year, and then for my next 3 is at Arizona State.
Boy.
And then I will also say for JAG K, something I'm really interested in myself within my community is really working together within the community. I'm really big in a PBL, a project-based learning project. So last year we were able to make presents for kids on Christmas who didn't get Christmas presents, or be able to celebrate with their families the way other families got to. And this year we're hoping to work with senior citizens, being able to grow plants with them and connecting with them, letting them know that even with your family not here, we can grow this root together and bring a new family in.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think it might help if we just had the 4 that spoke come up, because Shari, we didn't hear what your next plans are, so we'll start with that, and then we'll let the committee ask what questions they have for the 4 of you.
Okay, so right now I'm very stuck in life of what I want to do because I'm in this indecisive mood that I am, well, mode, but I am enrolled at WSU for pre-dental to be a dental hygienist, but I've also been thinking about changing my major to be a family/marriage counselor or look more into politics as well. But I don't know, I'm still indecisive and I'm still figuring life out.
You have plenty of time, so thank you so much. Okay, committee, what questions do you have for any of the four or all of the four? Who wants to start? Senator Straub.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This question's for the parliamentarian. Would you be willing to give a lesson to the legislature on parliamentary procedure?
I definitely think I could. I feel like I have the confidence to be able to talk to anybody, even if I feel I'm smaller than that person, I'm able to put myself up to the position and talk to anybody of power.
Absolutely. I think you definitely do. Is there what would be like one single parliamentary piece of advice that you would give?
I will say to be able to have an open ear and be honest with anybody around you, whether you think it is bad or right. Anybody's there to listen to your own opinion, so you'll be able to listen to theirs and being able to listen to anybody in your community if they have any type of influence or any judgment or anything. I feel like you should be open and honest about it.
Very good. Thank you.
Who's next? Senator Gossage.
My question's for Xavier. I want to know how you talk so fast and keep very clear about what you're thinking.
Yeah, so I've always been, I don't really know how to put it. So I've always been someone who liked to talk. At some point it has been like a problem. I always just want to be the first one to jump at something. However, I did prepared speaking for 3 years, made it to state every year in that. And I think the number one thing is just, I can't read a speech. I made speeches for myself, even when I was running for, in state. I can't read my speech. I can't do it. I use it more of a guide. And so I think as time goes on, I'm learning more of like how to say things, right? And I do sales too. I work in sales. So I think part of it is just throwing in what you need to say as well as who you are. If you're sarcastic, throw a little sarcasm. If you're more serious, be a little more serious. But I think as part of it is mixing it up. Of course, helping me is having eye contact, moving my hands around. I have ADHD, so helping have something to grab onto with my hand has always helped me. And then I think, like I said, just kind of throwing in a little bit of just who you are into it, whether that be sarcasm, jokes, any kind of humor. So I think that's something that's helped me.
Xavier, I think this is going to serve you well. As somebody who had on their grade card every year, Beverly talks too much. I can certainly appreciate that. All the best to you in your future.
Senator Sykes, did you have a question?
I just want to say thank you, and I'm always excited to hear, especially when someone who has been very shy and now you see the potential in moving. I also lost my mother very young, so thank you for embracing kind of that trauma and being able to get past it, but taking that with you and knowing that they help you get those scholarships. So kudos to you. Xavier, if you want to intern, I would love to have you because you're in my neck of the woods. But he lives in Johnson County.
We have a bidding war.
But I think, you have a slate of legislators here. What is something that you wish that adults, teachers, legislators, if you could give us one piece of advice, what would you give us?
Each of you can give us advice.
Advice as in like I don't think you need career advice, but advice as in like kind of what we're doing. I think just understand that, for our program, first it wasn't always easy. It was a process. Some schools excel right away. I mean, there's programs. We have 2 programs at North. One of them excelled right away. A group of kids excelled right away. Some kids, it is a longer process. I think, just kind of like I said, depending on where people come from, North is a big transfer school as far as a lot of kids come in. And I think just understanding that it's a process. Not every program is good off the bat. There are times where it takes time. I know sometimes it took me time to get things. Some things we were good at naturally. Other things it took us a while to get as a program. One of those things we're working on right now is just people showing up on time. We have a lot of talent. a lot of talent speaking, business plan, all that. But showing up, I think being accountable, and that's something we've been working on. It's taken us a while, but we're getting there, and we're showing process every semester. So something I think I would just leave you guys with is sometimes some schools do excel quicker, sometimes they don't excel as fast, but we're always making progress, and that's something that I think everyone should know for anything.
I think, James, were you wanting to share something? No? No. So I guess one of the questions that I have, because Xavier, you had shared this, that the JAG program in your school was for bad kids. So I want to know, is that what all of you experienced? And are you able to help change that attitude?
Well, I can give an example. So my school is made up of 3 different programs. We have 2 programs in our main school, and then we have 1 more program in our alternative school. So the alternative school is known for the bad kids, the kids who get in fights, or the kids who get bad grades and get sent there. And typically the kids that will go there, you don't think, or you don't really see results from them. They won't graduate, they'll drop out. Or some kids be able to go there for early graduation, but that's not really what it's known for, because not a lot of kids do that. So we have a JAG program within there, and I would also like to say it shows results. We had many kids who got their grades up and got graduated early, and if they didn't graduate early, they were able to move back into the main school and flourish. So I will say that JAG helps any and every kid who wants it. Thank you.
I would say for my school, I go to Southeast, and Southeast is kind of determined as a bad school because last year we had a lot of fights. Well, not even just last year, the school was known for fighting and sending trouble kids there. And this year we got a new principal. Her name is Claudia Cooper, and she made sure she changed things around. There's not as many fights, and it's getting changed slowly but surely. But JAG, they kind of made it seem when I was joining that it was a study hall, and they're just throwing kids and then a lot of kids looked at it as also they're just throwing kids that don't want a real class, or that's bad, or teachers don't want to deal with. They were throwing them in there, and they kind of still look at it this year and don't take it as serious, because when we have meetings like senior meetings or class meetings, they'll skip over JAG or talking about JAG, or they don't really influence the students to try, and they don't really talk about the achievements that JAG has brought to the school or to the students.
I will say my first year when I joined, before I joined JAG, but when it was first at Larned, it was more seen as she had said, kind of like a study hall or something easy. That's why I joined it, just to kind of, get the easy A. But it really became, I got really lucky with my career specialist. He's one of the greatest people I know. I mean, I try to not really mimic his leadership style, but learn from his leadership style. And it really has become what we've made it. This is the first year where Larned's had somebody step up, and it's not just somebody, it's a whole group. This is the first year that the leadership team has really felt like a leadership team at Larned. And part of that is because of the work I've put in, but not just me, the other seniors who have been in it all 4 years, and they understand what JAG's about and what opportunities I've been given. I basically look at it as I walk so the others could run. I have people who are even in middle school who I have no clue who these kids are, because I did not grow up in Larned. So their families, I don't know them that well, but they know about me because of everything I've done. And it's inspired them to do the same and try and, almost like a competition, you try and one-up other people, but also doing it in a fun, playful way. So I'm excited to see where JAG, at least in Larned, goes. But as a whole, I mean, JAG has just continued to get better every single year. So,
Senator Gossage, you indicated that you had another question, and then Senator Petty.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, just if I may, I'd like to introduce the committee. On the back row is Dana from Eudora, and the 3 of her, I think 30 students, if you guys would stand up, 3 of her JAG-K students that came to visit me today, and I had the great pleasure of meeting all of them and speaking with them earlier this year, and I just want to welcome you guys to committee.
Senator Petty.
Thank you. And thanks so much for being here and sharing so much about your programs. I think several of you touched on this, but are are you seeing that that JAG is being more embraced as a part of your school, as and not as something separate from your schools than it might have been before?
So at first, like everybody also said, JAG was seen as an easy class, as an elective that you could just get an A in. And when we shown results last year, being able to go to CDC and taking almost every kid that went to compete, which showed amazing results, kids started hearing about the results and wanted to get in, and it shows a difference. This year, you see how many kids versus last year who joined, and all of them are flourishing, having good grades, wanting to be in the class, wanting to have that JAG family, and me being able to teach them everything that I've learned last year, and within my position, being able to help them with their new opportunities and their pathways, being able to bring it to all of y'all, it is definitely something that I admire, and I just love being able to do that for the other kids and helping kids being able to see that JAG is not just a class, something that you could take past high school and really use for your future careers.
Yeah, I kind of talk about, like, again, like progress. You know, it's easy for us to talk a big game and say, here's what we do for kids, but we're not really showing it. You know, it's different now. You know, I think the more we've gotten a little more respected as time has gone on. Even just compared to my freshman year, you know, we had a little room. And, you know, we had this little room, but now, you know, we're moving up. You know, we went from a class where I think we were struggling to get numbers to a class that had a waiting list. And I think the more that we've done, the more that we've succeeded, and the more that we have done in the school, for example, during Hispanic Heritage, Black History Month, during other shows, we get kids to volunteer for it. We get kids to go out, that be holding the door open, greeting people. And the more that we, as a program, have shown interest in the school, the more the school has connected with us, the more the school has recognized us, and the more the school has just been involved with us as a program. And so I think, you know, the more that we have succeeded and the more that we've shown that we care about the school, the more the school has cared about us as a program.
I feel like with JAG, everything is about support. And a lot of the students, they don't really have that support at home or support with friends. So JAG pushes them and lets them know that you have someone. Because, like with me, I'm the state president, but I wouldn't be nowhere where I am without my support. And this is my team. I didn't want to run with dictatorship, and I just wanted to run as a team because the support matters. It pushes you. We all push each other and let each other know that we're here. And that's what a lot of students need. They need to know that there's someone there, because some of them, they don't even know how to write a resume. They haven't even checked their GPA. They haven't even applied for college. They don't have that push or that support. And JAG is here to push them and let them know you be your greatest self.
Senator Straub.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm not sure if this question is for the students or maybe Mr. Knapp. Can you give any examples of how your JAG-K sponsor or teacher has influenced you? A couple of you mentioned your specific sponsors and how that individual has affected you and your success in school. It's my understanding that JAG-K sponsors do not have to have a certified, they don't have to be a certified teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, but we will have Mr. Knapp come forward and explain some of the details, because it is a pretty rigorous application evaluation process to be a sponsor.
I'm not discounting their certification. What I'm saying is that this makes them that much more valuable in the classroom with these students. So if you could just give us a little bit more information on that. Thank you.
Our career specialists do not have to be certified teachers. They may have social work degrees, they may have marketing degrees, business degrees. What they need is a passion for helping students succeed. We do have a pretty regimented hiring process that has made it difficult in some areas of the state to hire career specialists, but we believe you hire slow and hire the right people. We have a 138 question assessment before we will interview someone. It takes about 30 minutes to complete it, but we know what a successful career specialist looks like. They have to be able to build relationships, but they also need to be able to deliver competencies, teach skills, develop relationships in the community, maintain data, understand the data reports. We ask a lot of them. None of that happens, though, if they can't build the relationship. And so this assessment looks at that. Are they a culture fit for JAG-K? We want a team of ideal team players. Are they humble, hungry, and smart? So we look for those traits in our career specialists, all of our employees. But the career specialists are the ones that have the biggest impact in our program. Without them, there's no need to have our program. There's no reason for me to exist in this job without a career specialist serving students across the state.
Senator Sykes.
Thank you. And this is for you, Chuck. You can sit down. This is for the kids. So, like, it's a classroom, and you talked about it was a study hall and that EZA. Can you share a little bit about, like, what you're doing in the classroom? Because I'm assuming you're not just going in and sitting at that desk for that time period. There's interaction and maybe some flexibility. Talk a little bit about that classroom time.
Yeah, so I will say there are times where we do sit down, we are doing work. However, that is not the case over 90% of the time. And I know in our program, we have really stepped it up this year. I would like to, huge applause to our specialists at North because they've done so much, so good about making sure we're doing not only what the students are interested in, but things that we need. For a good portion of time, believe every other week we had a guest speaker come in, where that was military, marketing, business, doctors. We had someone come in. Not just someone who's the first person they saw, but someone who really knew what they were talking about, someone who really had experience in that. I mean, guest speakers were huge for us. Not only that, we're doing projects, big PBLs, we're getting involved. So at North, we run a thing, it's called the One-Stop Shop. And it has food in there, it has hygiene, it has clothes in there, notebooks, school supplies, anything. And we run that as students. And so some of the times what we're doing is how can we improve this? For every winter formal, every homecoming, every prom, we have stuff in there, clothes, dresses, tuxes, for people who can't afford it. And that gives us a sense of responsibility. So it's not just we're sitting down learning, it's how are we putting this into practice. So many times we've done practices with prepared speaking. There's a lot of kids who come in at the beginning of the year with trouble speaking, they leave a lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better. We do a lot of exercise where anytime we share how our week was, we have to stand up and share how our week was. We become more comfortable that way. We're working on our skills without doing homework, if that makes sense.
And to add on to that, along with these things, it's what we decide how we want to do it. My former specialist, every time she first starts the class, she first says, JAG is what you make it. We'll have decisions on some days in class where we'll say, what keynote speaker do you want next week? What do you want to do next week? What specialist or what career do you want to learn about? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And us as the JAG-K students, we get to decide what we actually want to do. And it's not just our teacher being able to tell us, and we're not really that interested. We only do what really we're interested in. And being able to work together within the classroom definitely brings us all together, being able to work on our PBLs and figuring out what we want to do for our community and what we want to learn. And I feel like that definitely helps with the motivation, being able to decide what we want to do and really learning how to get there.
My specialist, she's actually here right now. She's right there. Her name is Miss Ashley Bonds, and she pushes us to be our best. She works on confidence. We do a lot of community service in our school. Last year we actually made blankets for the Children's Mercy Hospital, and we sent notes because everyone needs a little encouragement. And then we participate a lot with our special needs at our schools. Now we have coming up a Valentine's Day party for them. And then we do a lot of classroom, how to make a resume. She teaches us how to apply to scholarships. She just teaches us life skills as well, like job preparation skills that a lot of people don't know. And also in our other program, like they're learning how to tie ties because some people don't even know how to tie a tie. And then they're teaching us so many life skills that a lot of people are not taught, in like financial literacy as well, that some teachers, they don't care about or they won't teach us that. And I would say with my specialist, she shows that she cares. Like she's not just helping us in school, she's helping us outside of school. I know if I need a reference, I can call her. Or I know if I need just emotional support, she's there for me as well. Or just anything, she's there for me. And with our class, it's more so of a student's choice as well, as Layla said. So when we have speakers, it's what are we interested in, or career paths that people are interested in. They're speaking and giving us knowledge. And we just do a lot of participating, and since Southeast treats us like under the rug, so we participate in a lot of school events, like for our multicultural event, we participate in there and let them know who we are.
One thing I would like to add on with the having guest speakers, my school, we love having our guest speakers, but we're a small community, so we don't sometimes get like the big name guest speakers. Like one time we had our head janitor at our school was one of our guest speakers, and I mean, even just having him, some of the things he's done, because he's also in charge of one of the churches in our town, and he's just a really beloved guy all around. It's sometimes just seeing those people, even though I'm like not going to be a janitor when I grow up, understanding that he's a good role model to still look up to as far as being a good human and a good worker, even if I'm not going into the same career field as he is. So it's just seeing those small details, and JAG's really good at showing those small details.
Senator Straub.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I really didn't have another question, but thank you, James, for bringing up the janitor point. Do you know who the football field in Larned is named after? It's Earl Roberts Field, which is actually my great uncle, and he was the janitor at Larned High School, or Larned Schools. So don't knock being a janitor. Thank you.
One question, and this is, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys sit down, and we'll have Chuck get back up here. So Chuck, share with us a little bit, because you said you don't have an ask for this year, but the goal is by 2027 to add 53 programs, and the price tag is about $3 million. So does each program, is it about 56,000 to run? Is that what we're talking?
It actually costs us around $85,000, and the $3 million is actually an increase over what we're currently getting. And when I said I don't have an ask, I do have an ask that you would support the current funding we have in the budget. But to add those 53 programs, we believe we will need an additional $3 million. By fiscal year 27, we, however, don't want to add 53 programs in fiscal year 27 because our budget is maintained at 24 levels. We're going to have a lot of expansion in 26 and 27. And so we would love to have just, the ask would be $6.5 million from the evidence-based program fund. We're currently getting up to $3.5 million. And that would allow us to have that expansion. And we're talking about probably 50 programs, but we would like to be in 53 counties by fiscal year 27. And that's based on an estimate of what things will cost in fiscal year 27. Right now, it's about $85,000 per program. The schools pay about 15% as a program fee.
Is that 15% of the 85 or 15% on top of?
It's 15% of the 85. So in fiscal year 25, they'll be paying $12,750 per program. Some schools may have multiple programs. Southeast has 2 this year. They'll only have 1 next year. Kansas City, Kansas has 19 JAG-K programs. So they have really expanded, and we're able to reach more students, although hiring is a challenge in Kansas City. It's just a tough labor market.
So share a little bit from the context of Southeast going from 2 programs now, reducing it to 1 next year. You know, when we look at your graduation rate being at 95%, that's pretty amazing. What's going to happen, those students that maybe are currently in a program, but they're in younger grades there at the high school and it's eliminated? We have 2 of them and we're going to eliminate 1 and make it just 1. So what's going to happen with those kids? What happens in school districts where they close programs that existed?
Per our model, we can only serve up to 60 students per program. So right now, we could serve up to 120 students at Southeast High School. If they eliminate a program, we can't give those extra 60, and we'll have some graduates in the senior class, obviously, but some students won't be able to take it next year.
And what have you found historically happens in districts when they eliminate a program? What happens with graduation rates and things like that?
We just hired for this year a data analyst. We've been focused so much on our internal data that we haven't been able to look back and see. Part of the problem, though, is in a district the size of Wichita, we have 7 programs. So it's statistically difficult to see the impact of serving 15 seniors in a school the size of Southeast. That's why Kansas City, Kansas decided to expand. They added 11 programs to be able to reach more students. They have 6 programs at one of their high schools. So we can say over time that we have had an impact. Our goal was to get up to 88% graduation rate in the Kansas City, Kansas school district, but we knew we would have to serve more students. So it's difficult to know what the graduation rate did because we're not sure statistically what kind of impact we had holistically in the district, but I can tell you we had, well, Ashley can probably tell you, in Kansas City, most of those programs have 100% graduation rate in our JAG-K programs, and it's very similar in Wichita.
And when a district decides to reduce the number of programs or eliminate the programs, does it tend to be based on funding?
That's what we've been told. Declining enrollment is an issue. In some cases, ESSER, maybe they used ESSER and didn't necessarily see the end of that in 25. But we planned for that. That's why we asked for $3.5 million in the evidence-based program fund 2 years ago, because we knew ESSER was going away and we would need to backfill some of those programs that used ESSER.
Committee, any last questions? Senator Petty.
Thank you. In Kansas City, Kansas, of the 19 programs, how many are in middle school?
1.
Okay, they only have 1 in middle school, and then all the rest are at the high schools. And you said there were 6 at one of the high schools?
Yes, and I may need help on this. Wyandotte may have 5, or is it Wyandotte that has 5? And then Washington or Harmon?
3.
Harmon is the one that has 6.
Oh, Harmon has 6. Okay. You also in what you provided in the material that we have about after graduation, and so how long and in what way are you tracking students after graduation?
12 months after graduation, and it's a monthly contact. It's actually one of the performance measures from our national organization. We have to have at least a 95% connectivity rate with those students 12 months, for that 12-month period after graduation. And it varies, the contact. Some students need more contact. But it could be just a check-in. Hey, how's the job going? How's your freshman year going? Are you doing okay on food? It's just those types of reach outs to make sure that they're being supported in the next chapter in their lives and that they're continuing on that path to success.
And so you've had success in being able to keep those connections up for a year. And is it just for a year after? That's part of the model, just to follow them a year after, which is great. But have you had a high percentage of being able to make those contacts for a year after?
Last year was 92%, but our goal is, our goal is 95%. But yes, we've been very successful. Some students, they move out of state, and it's just impossible, and that affects that rate. But yes, 95% is our goal.
So again, I want to thank all of the students that are here, even those in the back that didn't speak, as well as the career specialists that are here. Thank you so much for sharing the JAG-K story.
Thank you.
It's a great program. Thank you. Committee, we are adjourned.